Hey, what is up, you guys? Do not ask why I'm outside. I just am for reasons. The point of this is just to let you guys know that I tried and thought so hard about how to make this video that I just gave up. And so I'm just going to use a practice sheet that I have to show you guys how to use Excel and all that. And if you're wondering why all the sounds are in the background, it's because it's July 4th weekend. And yeah, but anyways, back to the tutorial. Bye! Hello once again, and yes, as I have said in the intro, that I tried so hard to not use a practice sheet in this tutorial, but I gave up because I just felt like this was going to be easier and faster for me to cover as much of what is on this practice sheet as possible versus separating it into two videos. As I said in the post I put on Facebook, the point is I originally planned to make two, where one was going to be content and the other one was going to be formatting, but I'm lazy and I'm just going to make this one video. So I've rambled on long enough. So let's go ahead and get started. I have this practice sheet of things that I can use to show you that you can do in Excel. Some of these are more helpful things. They might not be the lesser known things that the thumbnail for this video suggests, but they are helpful and useful nonetheless to some degree. Alright, so let's say for instance, you want to find the largest number in a group of numbers. So I'm going to this little guy up here, which is where all our formulas are. Here's the commonly used ones that are more functions. If you want to use one of these, make sure that you click insert function, and I'll try to emphasize that later because this will come in handy later. But for this one, we can just go ahead and use the max, and then it allows us to select a group of cells. In this case, it's going to be all of these. Hit enter, then that will spit out the largest number in our group of numbers. Now let's say you need to format some cells so that it's easier to tell which ones are positive numbers and which ones are negative. So what I'm going to do, select all of these, then I'm going to come up to conditional formatting. Then I'll click Manage Rules. We want positive numbers to have a green border and negative numbers to have a red border. We have one rule in here already. I'm going to edit that rule so that any number greater than 0 custom format gets a green border. Just like that. And then click OK. Then we can add a rule by hitting the plus. Come back to classic. We will use format only cells that contain, use cell value. This time we want less than equals 0, format custom. Once you have made all your rules, then you can click OK, and voila. Moving on, you can also make a chart using numbers that you have. I'm going to highlight these, then I will go insert chart, and then in this case I want a scatter chart. So next we want to format this chart a little bit. I'm going to right click and click format chart area. So I'm going to select my data point. So then I'm going to select solid line. This is what I want. Alright, another thing you can do in Excel is if you have two numbers that seem to follow a pattern, then you can select the two numbers and then just drag, and then it will repeat the number pattern for you. So let's say you need to change the height of a row, and for whatever reason we want it to be 50 pixels. Well, the easy way to do it is just to select the row, and then between the two rows this little arrow will show up. If you click and drag, then you'll get the height, and then in parentheses it says how many pixels it is. Then you let go, and now it's 50 pixels. Now let's say you need a function that counts how many numbers are in a set. So what you'll do, you come back up to here like I said earlier, and then you'll click count numbers, and then you will select the area that has all the numbers that you're wanting the formula to count. Let go, hit enter, and voila. Now let's say for instance that we want a set of numbers to only have, say, 2 decimal places for each number. We can type however long of a number we want, but it'll sum it down to a 2 decimal number. So select the area of numbers that you want. In this case it's just 1. Right click format cells, come over to number, and you can select however many decimal places you want. So in this case I just want 2, and then click OK, and our bigger number has gone down to 2 decimals on our sheet, but our big number is still the original data that it is. Now let's say we want to rotate text for whatever reason. Again, you will right click, click format cells, come over to alignment, and then you can choose however much of a tilt you want it to be, and then click OK, and voila. Alright, so I have a few more things I'm going to show you. So let's say you have a addition chart or some chart like this. Instead of typing in each number on its own, you can use the fill handle from earlier. The way to do this is through a formula. With this, we want to be able to reference this row and this column. In order to do this, we're going to do the sum function, this cell, plus this cell. However, we are going to do some modifications. Well, to do this, the $ helps aid in referencing a particular element of a cell location. So with this, we want to be able to reference the row. So we're going to put the $ right before the 116. For the other cell, we want to be able to reference the column. So we're going to put the $ right before the D. Now, you might be thinking that this is referencing the entire thing, but in fact, it is only referencing just the column. If we wanted it to reference just the cell alone, we could leave it as is, or if we didn't want it to move at all, we'd put a $ before the letter and a $ before the number. Now that that is adjusted, hit enter, then we can select our cell and then click and drag, slide down, and then our chart fills up. So let's say we want to protect sheet number 2. We're going to right click on it, then you're going to click protect sheet. Then here you can put in a password, then verify the password, and then you can give it some settings. Then you'll click OK, and then it will be a password protected sheet. I know this is kind of boring, and I apologize that I don't know everything that there is to know about Excel. But again, I'm just sharing with you the things I do know in hopes that it is helpful for you. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, give it a big thumbs up. And don't forget to click on these red subscribe buttons to subscribe to their respective channels. And as always, I will see you in the next tutorial.